With each year's hit releases also come the opposite, and some of the gaming news we get during the year isn't that great either. So now that we got through what I've loved from 2015, let's take a look back and see some of the gaming releases and news that I didn't enjoy. So when I sat down to start writing the script for this episode, I soon came to a shocking realization. Wait a second, I'm gonna have to play these games again just to get the footage for this video. Am I really ready to put myself through that much torment? Well, I guess that my diminishing mental state is worth it if you guys get some form of entertainment out of it. You'll best be thankful for my sacrifices. But anyway, let's get started. Number 3 on the list of bad shit that shouldn't have happened is Star Wars Battlefront. Everybody lost their shit at the announcement of this title. Finally, the anticipated next installment to the popular Star Wars FPS franchise. All those amazing intergalactic battles, all those space dogfights, that awesome campaign, all new and improved on next gen. How could they mess this up? The game basically sells itself. Oh, I'll tell you how they mess it up. All it takes to ruin a great franchise is actually only 2 letters. 2 letters that separately are fine, but together they can make grown men weep. EA.
EA Games.
Challenge everything.
Yeah, you're definitely challenging my sanity. Yes, all you need to do is give the responsibility of this highly anticipated title to the money-hungry, greedy hands of EA. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't hate everything that EA does. It's just that as soon as they get the chance to make something that even has the slightest opportunity for add-on content, oh, they will take it all the way. To the extent that buying just the game doesn't feel like the full experience at all. If you want to get everything out of EA Star Wars Battlefront, you'll need not just the game, you'll need the Season Pass, which, might I add, comes in installments, and you also need either a PlayStation Plus or an Xbox Live subscription for the console versions. You'll need the online services because the game is basically online only. There is no single-player campaign. Did you get that? No single-player campaign. There is only one game mode that you can play offline, a game mode called Hero Battles, and to be honest, I've had the most fun playing this game mode than the online mode, mainly because it has same console multiplayer. In this day and age, same console multiplayer is becoming rarer and rarer, which is really surprising because it's what so many people loved about gaming back in Xbox, PS2 and GameCube days. You'd go to your friend's house, play some Burnout, Super Smash Bros, Halo, but now, games like Need for Speed and even Halo are not same console multiplayer, they're only online multiplayer. I don't know when this became okay, but I'm not okay with it. Enough of my ranting though, back to Battlefront. The reason I can tolerate hero battles is because the couple of times I've played it with Laura, the fights have turned out like this.
Dad!
Daddy frost
I can
choked
see
me.
you, Dad! Oh! Oh!
Save me, son.
Dad!
To wrap up Battlefront, it just doesn't deliver, and it definitely doesn't live up to the other titles in the franchise. For shame, EA. For shame. Do you guys remember when Han Solo and Darth Sidious fought on Hoth? Because that's my favourite Star Wars. Number 2 on the list isn't a game release, but instead a piece of gaming related news that was really disappointing. That's the cancellation of Silent Hills. The promising next installment to my favourite survival horror game was originally announced in 2014. It was revealed at the end of a demo exclusively for the PS4 called PT. PT standing for Playable Teaser. People went wild for this, myself included. PT was easily one of the most terrifying games that I've ever played. And it wasn't even the full game, it was literally just a demo. I couldn't even finish it. It was too spooky for me. Most of PT takes place in the one hallway. You walk down it, take in the atmosphere, go to move on to the next room, and you're back where you started. Rinse and repeat this a few times and you'll soon learn that everything is going to shit. If you worked up the courage to finish the demo, or if you just watched the ending online like 90% of people, myself included, you were rewarded with a clip of The Walking Dead's Norman Reedus in a spooky-looking town and the title of the upcoming game, Silent Hills, being directed by Hideo Kojima, the director of Metal Gear, and Del Toro, famous for directing Pan's Labyrinth. Horror fans all over the world were excited to imagine all the amazing and twisted things that would happen during the full game. But alas, it was not meant to be. At an event on April 26, 2015, Del Toro told attendees that Silent Hills had been cancelled. Shortly after, Norman Reedus also confirmed that the project had been canned. After all this hype, all we got was crushing disappointment. Like, this game was going to mean something to me. It was going to be the return of fantastic psychological horror. It was going to be the revival of the Silent Hill series after shit like fucking Book of Memories came along.
Secondly, Book of Memories is a big departure for the series, focusing on cooperative multiplayer action rather than traditional psychological horror.
Cause you know what's super scary? Playing a fucking co-op top-down shooter with 3 other people. But yeah, like, I don't really have much more to say about it. It just sucks, really. Now that Kojima has a production company that isn't linked to Konami, maybe we might see something really similar come out. Maybe just not call it Silent Hills. I mean, pitches have popped up recently that have Del Toro, Kojima, and Reedus all back together again, so it could happen. In Kojima we trust. But, once again, we find ourselves at the top of the list now. Top of the list of stupid pieces of shit, dumb stuff that shouldn't have fucking happened, that we should just throw into the fires of fucking Mount Doom or something. And at the tip top of it is Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5. My love for Tony Hawk games started where most people did, with the good old Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 for the PS1, but it wasn't until Tony Hawk 4 that I really got into it. With 2 I was pretty young, so I kind of just pressed buttons hoping that I would do the right thing. When 4 came along, I really started trying, mainly because it had sweet multiplayer and I'm a super sore loser. The best game mode in 4 is easily Horse, or as me and my friends play it, Pisswinky, because we're super mature grown adults. In recent releases, Tony Hawk games have definitely gone down in quality. And with the release of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5, everyone was thinking, oh, another numbered Tony Hawk game, this is going to be so good. But little did we know, that is definitely not what was going to fucking happen. To start off with, the game was just broken at launch. It was so broken that some people on the Xbox One version would literally get stuck at the Activision logo. Like, the game would freeze before you even got into the game. How? How does something like that even get released? I remember when I put the game in, I had to download a huge update to fix most of the broken parts. Even when I went to capture footage for this video, I had another 7.9 gig update waiting for me. At least this one adds more content, apparently. So, when you're actually in the game, if you can get that far, you'll see the first huge letdown is the graphics. Everything's got this weird, cartoony, cel-shaded filter. While I'm on the topic of the design of the game, I would like to point out the mess of fonts that they use. Pretty much every different part of text in this game has its own font. Look, for your score, for your current combo, for when someone joins the game, and for the player names above the character. You'll also see other random online players. I guess this was just them trying to get a similar feel to being at a skate park or something, but when you're in Free Skate, they don't really do anything other than just get in your way. A key feature to Tony Hawk games has always been the use of special moves. You'll normally need to master these if you want to complete the missions that require really high scores. In older games, you would build up special meter by landing tricks. When it was full, you would be able to then input a special move and continue doing specials through that combo. It's different in 5. Now, when your bar is full, you activate it, and then any move you do becomes a special. It doesn't matter what you input, your move will be a special. Like, what the fuck? Like, seriously, what the fuck? It takes all the satisfaction out of landing a string of specials like this, and it just makes it boring now. Another unnecessary change was making the triangle button the slam to ground button. It still works as grind as well, but when pressed in the air it would slam you down to the ground. At least due to the newest update, you can disable this stupid feature in the options, but like, it shouldn't have been there to begin with? The missions in the game barely have any variety from level to level. It's basically the same challenges, but just in different locations. Too many of them are obsessed with big heads for some reason as well. It's as if the devs were like, hey gamers, Remember big head mode in stuff like GoldenEye? That was great. So we made lots of the challenges about getting a big head. We're sure you'll love it. Take a look at this shit. This challenge is about collecting ice creams which increase the size of your head. And the same shit here, but just with marshmallows. Oh, and this one here is about your head growing larger until you land tricks to make it smaller. Another one of the missions that pissed me off is called Combo Palette. It's a mission where you collect different coloured palettes by doing a certain trick while moving through them. But here's where it went fucking weird. When the game was created, they clearly had the Xbox in mind. The coloured palettes refer to the buttons used to do the trick on the Xbox controller. So if you're playing on the PS4 like me, yellow means green, green means blue, red still means red. I don't understand why they didn't just change the colour of the palettes for the PlayStation 4 version. The last thing for me to complain about is the multiplayer. Why in the name of all that is holy does this game not have same console multiplayer? It is a fucking Tony Hawk game. Some of the most multiplayer fun that I've ever had in my life is on Tony Hawk. And the best fucking game mode from the other game's Horse isn't even an online option. It's just not in the game at all. There are just too many things that don't make sense in this game for me to just overlook. It's literally just a bad, shitty game. I think I would have just preferred not having the numbered Tony Hawk games tarnished with this disgusting, incestual stepchild that suddenly just turned up one day because Activision wanted to squeeze the last few droplets of cash out of the franchise before the fucking license ran out or something. I got so angry while recording the gameplay footage for this part of the video. Like, Tony Hawk games meant so much to me when I was a kid that seeing that they've turned into this just fills me with so much nerd rage. I hope it wasn't too hard for you guys to sit through and just listen to me rant about what disappointed me about last year, but if there are any gaming disappointments for you last year, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a little old thumbs up, and if you want to check out more of my stuff, jump to my channel, maybe even subscribe if you're feeling really naughty. See you next time, guys.